When we talk about relationships, emotions, and human psychology, one of the most misunderstood realities is women's loyalty. Many men think that women are loyal to the gifts, to the money, to the comfort they provide, or even to the sacrifices they make. But in truth, a woman's loyalty cannot be bought, it cannot be forced, and it cannot be guaranteed by what you do for her. Women are loyal to only one thing, and that is how you make them feel. Today, let us break this down into 6 key insights so we can understand the psychology behind it. Loyalty is not transactional. A common mistake men make is treating relationships like a business deal. They think if I provide, if I protect, if I give her everything she needs, then she should remain loyal to me. But loyalty does not operate on transactions. A woman may appreciate what you do, but appreciation is not the same as emotional attachment. True loyalty comes from the emotional bond, not the material exchange. This is why many men are shocked when women leave them, even after years of financial and emotional investment. Women are loyal to their emotional experience. At the heart of loyalty lies one core truth. A woman is loyal to the way she feels when she is with you. If she feels respected, understood, valued, and emotionally safe, she will stay. If she feels neglected, unloved, or emotionally starved, she will detach no matter how much you have done for her in the past. This is why relationships are not built on what you did yesterday, but on what you continue to create in her emotional world today. Security is more than money. Many people confuse financial support with emotional security. But a woman's sense of safety is holistic. It is about consistency, trust, and stability. If you can give her peace of mind, a sense of direction, and the assurance that you are reliable in both good and bad times, then she feels secure. Without this emotional and psychological safety, money becomes meaningless. A rich man who gives everything but causes chaos, distrust, and disrespect will never win true loyalty. Respect is the foundation of loyalty. Respect is the strongest currency in any relationship. When a woman feels disrespected, when her voice is dismissed, her presence is taken for granted, or her boundaries are violated, she cannot stay loyal. Respect creates the emotional environment where loyalty can grow. Many men do everything else right, but fail in this one area, and that is why they lose her commitment. Loyalty follows growth, not stagnation. Women are deeply intuitive. They want to see progress in themselves, in their partner, and in the relationship. If a man becomes stagnant, if he loses ambition, or if he stops investing in growth, she feels stuck too. Loyalty is not about staying the same, it is about evolving together. The woman remains loyal to the man who continues to inspire her, challenge her, and walk with her towards a better future. Love without emotional connection is empty ultimately. Women do not remain loyal to actions alone. They remain loyal to the emotional connection that actions create. You may provide everything, but if she feels unloved, unheard, and unimportant, she will drift away. On the other hand, even simple actions, when filled with sincerity and genuine connection, can keep her loyal for life. So, what do women truly care about? Not the gifts, not the material gestures, not even the sacrifices you make if they are empty of emotion. Women are loyal to how you make them feel respected, valued, understood, and emotionally safe. If you want loyalty, do not focus only on what you do for her. Focus on who you are with her, because in the end, loyalty is not about transactions, but about transformation, the emotional transformation you create in her heart. When we talk about loyalty in relationships, one of the biggest mistakes men make is assuming it is something that can be earned through what they give or provide. Many men enter a relationship with the mindset that if they do everything for a woman, if they provide her with financial stability, if they buy her gifts, if they take her out, if they sacrifice their comfort, then loyalty is guaranteed. They see loyalty almost like a business transaction. I gave, so now you owe me. But this is where the misunderstanding begins. Human emotions, especially loyalty, do not function in that way. A woman may acknowledge and even appreciate what you are doing, but that does not mean she will remain loyal simply because of those gestures. Appreciation and loyalty are not the same thing, and this is a truth many people fail to accept. If loyalty were transactional, then no woman would ever leave a man who provides for her. But reality shows us the opposite. There are countless stories where a man gives everything, works day and night to build a life, sacrifices his dreams for her comfort, and still she walks away. Men feel betrayed in those moments and cannot understand why. They ask, after all I did for her, how could she leave? The answer is simple. She did not leave because of what you gave. She left because of what she felt. What you do for her can only sustain gratitude, but gratitude is not enough to sustain emotional attachment. The bond of loyalty is deeper than favors and gifts. It is rooted in emotions, not transactions. Think about it. If loyalty was purely transactional, then the richest man who provides luxury would always be the most loved. But that is not what we see in real life. Some women leave millionaires and choose men with very little, simply because with the latter they feel alive, respected, and understood. This is proof that money, gifts, or sacrifices, while valuable, are not the foundation of loyalty. At best, they are bonuses, but they cannot replace the emotional experience. A woman is not keeping count of how many bills you paid or how many hours you worked. She is measuring how she feels when she is with you. Another reason loyalty is not transactional is because human beings are not static. Emotions evolve with time. What you did yesterday cannot guarantee how she will feel tomorrow. This is why so many men are caught off guard when relationships collapse even after years of doing everything right. They were focusing on actions, but neglecting the emotional consistency behind those actions. Loyalty cannot be bought once and secured forever. It has to be nurtured continuously through emotional presence and respect. When you reduce loyalty to a transaction, you also reduce love to a contract, and love cannot survive in that frame. Women are not calculating machines that stay because of a checklist of things you've done. They stay because of the emotional bond you maintain. This is why men must shift their perspective. Stop believing loyalty is something you can purchase with deeds, and start realizing it is something you cultivate through the feelings you create. At the core of a woman's loyalty is not what she receives, but how she feels in the relationship. Feelings are the foundation, and they outweigh every physical or material effort a man can make. A woman may live in a palace, wear the finest clothes, and have every luxury at her disposal, but if she feels invisible, unloved, or misunderstood, that palace will eventually feel like a prison. On the other hand, she could be living in modest circumstances with very little, But if she feels valued, respected, and emotionally safe, her loyalty will be unshakable. What matters most to her is the emotional experience she has when she is with you. When a woman says she wants love, what she actually means is that she wants to feel a certain way, safe, cherished, seen, and deeply connected. If your presence in her life consistently generates these feelings, she will remain loyal no matter what storms you face together. If, however, your actions, words, or absence create feelings of loneliness, neglect, or rejection, then even if you have provided her with everything on a material level, her heart will not stay. This is why so many relationships fail even when men think they have done enough. They focus on doing, but they forget that women measure love through feeling. It is also important to understand that feelings are not built in a single moment. They are the result of consistency. A kind word once in a while is not enough, nor is an occasional display of affection. What secures her loyalty is the pattern of how you make her feel over time. If she experiences respect in daily interactions, if she feels heard when she speaks, if she senses your presence emotionally even in silence, then loyalty builds naturally. Women are loyal not to yesterday's grand gesture, but to today's emotional reality. This is why some men lose their partners even after years of doing things for them. They assume the effort they put in at the beginning will carry the relationship forever, but emotional experiences cannot be stored like money in a bank account. They must be renewed constantly. Every day is an opportunity to either make her feel valued or to make her feel neglected. A woman does not wake up one morning and decide to leave out of nowhere. Rather, it is the accumulation of daily emotional neglect that leads to disconnection. On the flip side, when a woman feels deeply loved and understood, she becomes naturally loyal. It is not forced, and it is not something she has to think about. Loyalty becomes the natural outcome of her emotional satisfaction. This is why the most important question a man can ask himself is not, "What am I giving her?" but "How does she feel when she is with me?" Because in the end, her loyalty will not be to the car you bought her, the dinners you paid for, or the sacrifices you made, but to the emotions you consistently created in her heart. Many men confuse the concept of security with money. They believe that if they pay the bills, buy the house, and provide financial comfort, then their partner will automatically feel safe and loyal. While money can provide stability on the surface, true security goes far beyond what is in a bank account. For a woman, real security is emotional and psychological. It is about knowing that the man she is with will stand by her, that his words are consistent with his actions, and that she can trust his presence not only when things are easy, but also when life becomes difficult. A woman may enjoy the benefits of financial comfort, but if she feels uncertain about your character, if she cannot predict your reactions, or if she constantly doubts your intentions, then money becomes meaningless. Emotional chaos cancels out material security. What matters to her is whether she feels she can rely on you when she is vulnerable, whether you are consistent in how you treat her, and whether you give her peace of mind. Peace of mind is the true definition of security, and this cannot be purchased. Consider two types of men. The first gives his woman everything she asks for: jewelry, clothes, vacations, luxuries, but he lies, breaks promises, and belittles her feelings. The second has fewer resources. Perhaps he cannot give her luxury, but he is consistent, reliable, respectful, and makes her feel safe in his presence. Who do you think she will be more loyal to in the long run? The answer is obvious. Money may impress temporarily, but security builds loyalty. Another aspect of security is stability. A woman wants to know that you are emotionally stable, that you do not swing from one extreme to another, and that you have control over your actions and words. If she feels she has to constantly walk on eggshells around you, her sense of safety is destroyed. On the other hand, if you bring calmness into her life, if your presence reduces her anxiety instead of increasing it, she will trust you more deeply. Stability in emotions and actions makes her feel that she can build her life with you without fear of sudden collapse. It is also essential to understand that women associate security with trust. Trust is not just about fidelity, though that is important. It is about trusting your character, trusting your word, and trusting your ability to protect not just her body but her heart. When you prove yourself reliable through small daily actions, showing up when you say you will, listening without judgment, keeping her confidences safe, you create the kind of environment where loyalty naturally grows. So when men think they can buy loyalty with financial power, they miss the deeper truth. Security is not about money alone. It is about emotional consistency, reliability, and peace of mind. A woman will stay loyal not to the wealth you provide, but to the sense of safety and stability she feels when she is with you. That is the security she values most. Respect is the foundation upon which every lasting relationship stands, and without it, no amount of love, money, or effort can sustain loyalty. A woman may forgive many things. She may tolerate flaws and imperfections. But once she feels disrespected, her heart begins to close. Respect is not just about using polite words. It is about how consistently you treat her, how much you value her presence, and whether you recognize her as an equal human being with thoughts, feelings, and boundaries that deserve consideration. When respect is missing, even the most luxurious lifestyle feels hollow, because disrespect slowly erodes trust and love until nothing is left. When a woman feels disrespected, it creates a wound that no material gift can heal. You may buy her something expensive after a fight. You may shower her with temporary affection. But if the underlying behavior shows disregard for her dignity, she will eventually detach. Many men underestimate this because they assume providing or protecting is enough. But the truth is, protection without respect feels like control, and provision without respect feels like charity. Respect is what transforms actions into love. It is the invisible force that makes a woman's loyalty natural rather than forced. Disrespect does not always appear in loud, obvious ways. It can be subtle, ignoring her opinions, dismissing her feelings as too emotional, or speaking harshly without realizing the impact. Over time, these small acts communicate that her voice does not matter. Once she believes that, her loyalty weakens. A woman may stay physically present out of obligation or fear, but her heart will no longer belong to the relationship. This is why respect must be active and continuous. It is not something you show once in a while, it is a way of being. Respect also means valuing her individuality. A loyal woman does not want to feel like an accessory to your life. She wants to feel like a partner. When you acknowledge her strengths, support her goals, and give space for her growth, you show that you see her as more than just a role or responsibility. That validation deepens her emotional connection to you. She feels proud to stand beside you, and her loyalty strengthens because she knows she is not being diminished in the relationship, but uplifted. Another powerful dimension of respect is listening. Many men underestimate how important it is simply to listen with patience and without judgment. When a woman shares her feelings, she is not always looking for solutions, often, she is looking for understanding. When you listen and validate her emotions, you are saying, I respect what you feel and it matters to me. That alone can reinforce loyalty more than any material action. In the end, respect is not just about how you treat her in private, but also in public. If you honor her presence in front of others, defend her dignity, and never allow outsiders to disrespect her, she feels safe and valued. That sense of being protected through respect is what keeps her heart loyal. Without it, love turns fragile. With it, loyalty becomes unbreakable because a woman will always remain devoted to the man who values her not just as his partner, but as a person worthy of dignity every single day. Loyalty in a relationship does not thrive in stillness. It thrives in movement, in growth, in progress. A woman does not simply attach herself to who you are today. She attaches herself to the vision of where you are both heading tomorrow. When a man becomes stagnant, when he stops pursuing his goals, stops evolving as a person, and stops investing in the relationship, she begins to feel stuck too. Women are naturally drawn to growth because growth represents life, energy, and hope for the future. Without it, the relationship begins to feel like a cage, not a journey. It is important to understand that growth does not mean you must constantly achieve extraordinary things. It means showing a willingness to evolve, to learn, to improve, to expand your mindset, and to build a better future together. When a woman sees that her partner has vision and drive, she feels inspired. It gives her confidence that she has chosen a man who will not only take care of the present, but also prepare for the future. That sense of moving forward creates excitement and keeps the bond alive. A relationship without growth becomes repetitive and predictable. And predictability without passion often leads to emotional detachment. A woman's loyalty is strengthened when she sees that the relationship itself is growing. This means not settling into patterns of neglect, but continuing to invest effort into communication, intimacy, and connection. Too many men assume that once they have won a woman's love, their work is done. They stop complimenting her, stop surprising her, stop learning new ways to connect. Slowly, the relationship loses energy. But when you keep building, whether it is by deepening your understanding of her, setting shared goals, or supporting each other's dreams, she feels that the love is alive. Loyalty follows naturally because she sees herself not in a stagnant situation, but in a living, breathing partnership that evolves with time. Growth also means personal development. A man who is committed to becoming a better version of himself, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and even professionally, earns a woman's respect and admiration. Loyalty is not given to a man who remains stuck in immaturity, repeating the same mistakes and refusing to learn. It is given to the man who acknowledges his flaws but works on them. When she sees progress, even small progress, she feels proud to stand beside him. Her loyalty deepens because she is loyal not only to who he is but also to who he is becoming. Finally, growth applies to how you handle challenges together. Every relationship will face trials, but growth means learning from those trials rather than being broken by them. If you can take pain and transform it into wisdom, if you can face obstacles and come out stronger as a couple, she will remain loyal. Why? Because she sees a future where every difficulty leads to evolution, not destruction. That vision of shared progress is what keeps her committed. Loyalty, therefore, is not anchored in comfort alone. It is anchored in the belief that with you, she is moving forward. When you provide growth instead of stagnation, you give her a reason not just to stay, but to stay with passion, excitement, and unshakable commitment. Love in its purest form cannot survive without emotional connection. And this is where many men go wrong. They believe that actions alone, providing, protecting, showing up physically, are enough to secure loyalty. But actions without genuine emotional depth feel empty. A woman may appreciate that you take care of responsibilities, that you fulfill duties, but if her heart feels disconnected, those actions will not hold her. Emotional connection is the lifeline of loyalty, and without it, love eventually dies. A woman craves to feel seen and understood beyond the surface. She does not just want someone who does things for her, she wants someone who truly connects with her soul. This connection is not built by occasional words of love or dramatic gestures. It is built in the everyday moments, the way you listen to her, the way you acknowledge her feelings, the way you create a safe space for her emotions without judgment. When she feels that her inner world matters to you, her loyalty becomes effortless. She is not loyal to the dinner you bought her or the vacation you paid for. She is loyal to the sense of being understood and valued at a deep emotional level. Without this connection, even grand gestures lose their meaning. You can buy gifts, take her places, and give her everything she asks for. But if she feels that her heart is alone in the relationship, she will eventually detach. This is why some women walk away from relationships where nothing is technically wrong on the surface. The man may not be abusive, he may not be neglectful in a practical sense, but emotionally he is absent. His love lacks presence. She stays physically for a while, but her loyalty slips because loyalty is rooted in emotional fulfillment, not material provision. On the other hand, when emotional connection is strong, even small actions carry enormous weight. A simple text asking how her day is, sitting together in silence but with full presence, remembering little details she mentioned, these things matter more than any grand display. They show her that she is not just being tolerated, but truly cherished. In that environment, her loyalty is not something she has to force. It flows naturally because her heart feels safe and alive with you. It is also important to understand that emotional connection requires vulnerability. Many men resist this, thinking vulnerability is weakness. But for a woman, seeing her partner open up, share his fears, dreams, and even insecurities, creates intimacy. That intimacy deepens loyalty because she feels she has access to the most authentic version of you. Without this vulnerability, the relationship can feel superficial, and superficial bonds cannot sustain true loyalty. Ultimately, love without emotional connection becomes mechanical. It turns into duty, into routine, into something that looks like a relationship but feels empty. But when you nurture emotional connection, when you prioritize how she feels over what you give, You create a bond that cannot easily be broken. Her loyalty will be to that bond, to that sense of closeness and understanding that makes her feel she is not just with a man, but with the right man, one who touches her heart, not just her life. At the end of the day, the truth is simple yet powerful. Women are not loyal to what you do for them. They are loyal to how you make them feel. No amount of money, gifts, or sacrifices can hold a woman's heart if she feels unseen, unloved, or disrespected. Loyalty cannot be bought, demanded, or forced. It can only be nurtured through emotional connection, respect, security, and growth. When a woman feels valued, when she feels safe in your presence, when she sees that you are evolving alongside her, and when her heart is continuously touched by the way you treat her, her loyalty becomes unshakable. Too many men measure their worth by their actions alone, forgetting that actions without feeling are empty. Yes, providing and protecting are important, but they are not enough on their own. What matters most is the emotional reality those actions create. Does she feel cherished? Does she feel respected? Does she feel secure in your consistency and inspired by your growth? If the answer is yes, then you will never have to question her loyalty. So remember this: women are not loyal to material things, nor to the checklist of what you do for them. They are loyal to the experience of being with you, the peace, the respect, the emotional bond, the growth, and the love that feels alive. If you want a woman's loyalty, stop trying to buy it with deeds and start creating it with presence, respect, and connection. Because in the end, loyalty is not about what you gave her. It is about how you made her feel every single day. That is the one thing she will always remain faithful to.